I'm so happy to talk about Jupiter. I am always relieved when I'm talking about the positive stories in the sky and not the more challenging ones. Mostly we would call him the greater benefic because he protects life. He brings truth and knowledge. He's the dispeller of the darkness, the guru, the teacher, the wise one. Jupiter, in this regard, meeting with the sun, which he does every year in a different sign, is offering up on July 29th a chance to do a cosmic reset button that will last until August the 31st of 2027.
Lunatic Astrology.
Well, it's time for Jupiter's most important transit of 2026. He's going to join with the sun on July 29th, and he's going to set into motion a one-year story for your sun sign, moon sign, and rising. It is his cosmic reset button. It's where he's going to offer up a goodie bag of growth and prosperity, of goodness, of children and fertility, of things that we love in life, things that are high, true, and wise, the good and the true, as Plato would say. This is going to be a period of a year in that one place in your chart called Leo, where Jupiter has a plan for you. And as he resets your chart on July the 29th, he will begin moving you in a positive and powerful new direction. Now, Jupiter does this every single time, every 12 years in Leo. It's nothing new. And we'll be talking about the cycles before and what they may have entailed for your sign. In today's video, we're not really covering the world astrology. This is primarily a video for you. And it's really all about how you can maximize the cosmic good fortune reset button, the most important day of the year from Jupiter's perspective. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Lothian. I've been talking a long time today, so I might sound a little weird. Welcome. If you're new here, especially if you came from Amrit Sandhu, where I was on his channel a couple weeks back, I'm really glad you're here. Hopefully you're enjoying my show. For all of my regulars, I'm so glad you've always supported me through this journey on YouTube for the last 6 or 7 years, and I'm grateful for that. So before we go ahead and talk about Jupiter as he moves into that sun's heart, deeply invisible, being born again on July the 29th at around 6 degrees of the sign of Leo. I want to let you know that I'm teaching my yearly astrology course, maybe my last. That might have been a Freudian slip. 7 years, 7-year cycle, 7-year itch coming up this fall. Sky Reader. This is my 7th time. This time we're going 7 weeks long. It's live with me in a Zoom room. I'm teaching you, and then we're going to have Q&As during the week, and we also have guest teachers teaching. Now we have 6 guest modules on Thursday nights that you have forever evergreen access to, whether you make the course or not, everything from relocation astrology to health astrology to other stuff. However, love astrology. But I will say this, one thing I love about teaching is I want to give you the ability to catch your own fish rather than me giving you YouTube fish, which is predictive astrology. So rather than that, learn how to read your sky, be your own astrologer, and yes, time your best life. You can do that because you will have the language of astrology, the fundamentals under your belt. I will teach you 2 timing tools that I think you can use even as a novice, new beginner of astrology. And because we have assistants teaching me, a Discord group and a Facebook group, we're going to have a lot of support for you. But remember, I'm not certifying you to be an astrologer. This is to use with your friends and family. This is for an enjoyable ride on a learning curve, a kind of a boot camp for learning how to use astrology in your own life. So I hope I'll see some of you there. Until the end of July, we have a deep dive 40% discount on the price. There's no code. It just literally is that price. If you catch wind of this information, it'll not be the same discount price in August. But if you don't sign up before September when we start, you might miss the pricing. So check it out below. And at the end of this video, I'll talk more about this course. You can jump to the end of the video where I show you the website, talk about a little bit more about the details of the course if you're interested. Otherwise, just go ahead below and sign up and grab our great July discount. And if you miss that one, there'll still be a discount for August. All right, guys. It is a fun thing to talk about. I'm so happy to talk about Jupiter. I am always relieved when I'm talking about the positive stories in the sky and not the more challenging ones. Mostly we would call him the greater benefic because he protects life. He brings truth and knowledge. He's the dispeller of the darkness, the guru, the teacher, the wise one. And ultimately, he's the consummate fairy godfather. Jupiter, in this regard, meeting with the sun, which he does every year in a different sign, is offering up on July 29th a chance to do a cosmic reset button that will last until August the 31st of 2027, when he joins the sun in the sign of Virgo. And if you go back to June 24th of 2025, he joined the sun in the sign of Cancer. So we have a new story this time. It's the Leo story. It will be the July 29th of this year until August 31st of next year, that what he sets in motion is in play. And what he sets in motion is accompanied by two very curious stars I'd like to talk about. And it's also accompanied by the asteroid Nyx. Nyx is the goddess of the night. Nyx is the creative primordial goddess who hatched everything into being by consummating a love affair with Erebus. Erebus, her sex partner, love partner, whatever you want to call it, was the concept of darkness. And then when those two mated, they created light and they created day. So the creation myth of the whole world is embedded within the story of Nyx. Rumor has it that Jupiter Zeus was a little bit afraid of her. She's the thing from which everything sprang, and he could not overpower, contradict her. Her will was his way. So he's kind of an underling to Nyx. This is important to know. In many ways, because Nyx gave birth to a bunch of gnarly things like Hypnos and Thanatos, the death urge, Thanatos. She gave birth to a bunch of little kidlets that we would consider more difficult, but that's what reality is made of. We fall asleep and we're hypnotized to our true nature, and we forget that we're spirit playing in matter. With Thanatos, there is sometimes a desire to, life force is Eros and Thanatos is the death urge. She gave birth to that as well. Indeed, I believe she gave birth to a lot of little gnarly things that came out of Pandora's box, if memory serves me. But all said, she birthed the good, the bad, and the ugly of reality. She is the primordial cosmic egg from which all of life, all of this matrix, all of this Maya illusion sprang. So we have this powerful goddess of creation, Nyx, sitting conjunct Jupiter and Sun. This is the asteroid Nyx. And so there's something very intriguing to me, because this is where Barbault's Basket is still playing out. Jupiter, Sun, Nyx, opposite Pluto and Juno, by the way, the wife of Zeus, and then the basket below it. Now, I have already put out the Barbault Basket video that I created, like what's dropping in your basket. Please go watch that. Please go check it out. Maybe Stella can remind you, whichever side she picks, to go grab that Barbault Basket video, because this is actually embedded within the basket. And it's so celestially rare, we can't compare it to anything ever before. So while Jupiter will join the sun every year for a cosmic reset button of goodness in our lives and where we can find the goodness, the sweet spot, so to speak, this is also embedded within a celestial framework of something extreme and unusual. Barbault's Basket with the mini grand trine involving the outer planets of Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune as part of that basket make it extraordinary. And so we don't have any real comparisons here. I'm going to be showing you the chart, bringing up the concept of the stars embedded within that chart in a second. But I do feel like we may say, oh, it's just another Jupiter conjunct the sun, reset button. He's been invisible for a couple of weeks. Some places in the world, he won't really be visible for another 2 to 3 weeks. So he's kind of like he's an old Jupiter going into the sun's heart on July 29th in Leo. He entered Leo on June 30th. Then he's going to be incinerated and purified and given a new divine mission from the celestial headquarters called the sun. And then he's going to try to unfold his mission until August of next year. And when we do that kind of death and rebirth cycle with Jupiter every single 12 years, for example, August of 1991, add a year. Right? August of 2003, add 1 year. July of 2014, add 1 year. Even though we do that over and over again, it is literally profoundly different with the weird way the sky has created that celestial basket. And that makes this extremely special, in my humble opinion. And for those of you who want to count backwards as well, you keep going to 1979. This occurred in 1979 on August the 13th at 12 months. And this occurred Jupiter Leo conjunction in 1967, August the 8th at 12 months. Obviously, if you have Jupiter in Leo during these windows, you're more intimately connected to what's called a Jupiter return. Well, that could be a whole teaching video. The other thing I want to say is the South Node has entered as of around the 26th, 7th of July. Leo, the South Node of fate, the places where the eclipses happen. This is about surrender, release, let go, and deep spiritual knowledge and wisdom, because you're releasing all that is unreal so that you can discover the real. Nothing real can be harmed, nothing unreal. What is that good old Course in Miracles expression? Nothing real can be harmed, nothing unreal exists. So there's that nothing real can be harmed, nothing unreal exists energetic field around Jupiter right now, because the South Node is with him now in Leo. And it's so celestially cool. It really feels like a very spiritual moment in time for the world, almost like an existential crisis of meaning, purpose, truth in the world, not just in our own individual lives. Now, I will be showing you the sky and pointing at stuff the best I can. I don't have an annotation yet on Riverside. I'd have to import some app, and I will try to do that. But watch where my cursor is when I share this with you, okay? And the other thing I want to mention is the Sabian symbol. So I am going to source my Sabian symbol today on this. I love the Dane Rudyard book that I got. This is literally, I got this at a estate sale, and it's like such a great gem in my little storyline here. So I'm going to tell you what the Sabian symbol, there are 360 degrees of a wheel. These degrees were all given a kind of channeled message by Elsie Wheeler in the 1930s. And now we have these kind of, each degree has its own celestial meaning, channeled meaning. And I'm going to read to you what this book by Dane Rudyard says about it. He's kind of the big daddy of the Sabians in a lot of ways, and much of mystical astrology, including things to do with the lunar phases. So the actual conjunction is at 6 degrees and 24 minutes, I think, of Leo. Obviously, you have a sun or a moon or a rising there. That's important. And you'll really feel it quite strongly. Anything within 3 degrees before or after 6 Leo in your natal chart will be super activated, as well as between, let's make this really clear for you, anything between 3 and 9 degrees of Leo, 3 and 9 degrees of Aquarius, 3 and 9 degrees of Scorpio, 3 and 9 degrees of Taurus. These are angular, square, or opposition placements. And those planets, especially your sun, moon, or rising, will really feel the intensity of this beautiful cosmic reset, and it will create dramatically powerful change in your life. But you don't have to have planets at those degrees for this to matter. We round the Sabian symbol up from 6 to 7 degrees. That's how you use Sabian symbols. And we get a constellation of stars shine brilliantly in the night sky. Well, it is the goddess Nyx, the goddess of the night, the dark and the night, who is literally on Jupiter and the sun. And here we have constellation of stars are shining brilliantly in the night sky. The power of basic spiritual values, which refer to man's common humanity, to all enduring archetypes and to all enduring archetypes. He talks about how we need to make meaning of life, and therefore we name the constellations. But he also talks about reverse causality, as above, so below, as below, so above, and how by naming the constellations and giving them meaning, constellation of the Big Dipper, Little Dipper, or Big Bear, Little Bear, and naming our constellations, we're in an interactive participatory universe, right? And then that named universe is talking back at us. It's a two-way telephone call. All right. He also says about this particular story that the keyword is permanence. And that's because the stars in the sky don't circle around the earth, right? They are fixed. They move a degree a year. There's an enduring permanence to the celestial architecture. We're going to take a look at the sky, and we're going to spend the next hour, settle in, going around the wheel. And I'm going to share with you how Jupiter coming into the heart of the sun and resetting. Now give it up to a month afterwards. He's barely visible after he's died in the sun's heart. He needs to get a few degrees away from that sun, ideally minimum of 8. So it's not like on the day of this conjunction, what I'm telling you will be true. It is not like that. It's on the day of this conjunction, Jupiter gets a divine mission headquarter instruction that he will execute by August 31st, 2027. He'll do that in what we call square opposite relationships to the sun. He will square the sun, oppose the sun, and square the sun over the course of the next year. And as I go through this, if you want to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and check out everything about me, please do. Under my description box below, the courses I'm teaching, LoriLothian.com is my main site now. What I'm encouraging you to do is pause the reflexive impatience that we all have. Lori said that Jupiter was going to chunk the sun on July 29th, and something important was resetting in my life. Nothing happened. Something must be wrong. My chart must be broken. No, not at all. Okay, not at all. It's a year-long story. It will happen in turning points, and I will alert you to when those turning points happen this year. I'll be telling you every time Jupiter squares and opposes the sun, this is a part of the cosmic reset button in Leo. This is a story you must pay attention to because it's still in motion all through the next 12 months. Okay. And I'm not on ADD medication. Thank you for those of you who asked. Okay. That's a bit of a funny thread that went through my channel because I'm not talking too fast or twiddling with my hair, apparently. Now I must be on ADD meds. I think I just comfortable in my new home and my new office, and I've got over a really difficult move and exhaustion and illness, actually. So I'm healthier right now than I was. I want to show you the chart. I want to talk about what your story is, but I will give you the stars right now. 2 stars are conjunct the sun. One is actually the cluster called Persepi, and the other one is in the ass of the donkey, right? The donkey's bum. It's called Asellus Borealis, and it's connected to the butt end of a donkey. These 2 stars are on the ecliptic. For those of you who know what I mean, just bear with me. And basically, for the butt end of the donkey, the ass of the donkey one or whatever, this is part of it's a star in the constellation of Cancer the Crab, and it belongs to the ass of the donkey stars, according to my software. This is an erotic star, and it shows us our desire, where our desires are, like where we are driven by desire. Desire is a nature of Venus, by the way, where we're driven by desire, and it can translate into being creative expressivity. Okay. So we have a star that can engender desire and yearning and creative expressivity with Jupiter and the sun, Asellus Borealis. But also the other one I tried to pronounce and probably mangled, called the Persepi cluster. And the Latin word for this is hive. So Latin for hive, and Persepi must mean hive. And it can also mean manger, like a dog manger or whatever. So strong association with bees, and we love bees, don't we? I just saw bees today, and I'm so happy because they fertilize things. So creativity, fertilize. We don't have a planet without bees fertilizing trees and flowers. And so bees are essential to life on Earth. So bees, and we have the creative, expressive energy of the other star I mentioned. We have a creatrix god, Nyx, here. So there's something really powerful building up here for humanity. It can be linked, the star, the Persepi cluster, with warlike tendencies and strategies. Well, we got enough of that going on. And ability to mobilize and direct forces, and protection, organization, and coordination. So I think of a hive as working together. I think the warlike structure is bees will defend the hive, right? So there's these fighter bees that defend the hive and keep the queen safe. So we have that defensive warlike structure, to me, not a strategy that's offensive. So to protect the hive, to protect the queen, to protect the whole system itself. And also, there's such creative generative energy because bees are like the goddess Nyx, who created humanity, or the world at large, not humanity, created the whole thing that we're in. Day and night, birthed from her, is a part of how I think bees are about that same archetype. We have any thoughts about the bees? Let me know, and why a hive star is connected to Jupiter. Hopefully not the Borg in the hive mind from Star Trek. I can hear someone saying that here. I'm going to show you the chart, and we're going to talk astrology. So let's get going. So here we have the sky. See Barbault Basket still quite active on July the 29th. Go watch my video, the Barbault Basket. And energetically, I would like also to say that this is what you're looking at. This is this good old Persepi cluster at 7, a Leo. And this is the donkey ass constellation within the crab constellation, and it's called Assus Borealis. And I just read to you what they mean, so I'm not going to repeat that. South node for that spiritual liberation, surrender, let go. And then, of course, over here, we have Nyx at 6 degrees and Jupiter at 6 degrees and the sun at 6 degrees. And this is Hygeia. This is where we need to lean into being healthy. Jupiter and the sun are beyond the night and a little bit beyond the night, Nyx, and a bit more beyond Hygeia. It's like Jupiter and Sun are talking with Hygeia, hygiene, the goddess of health and wellness, preventative especially. And the goddess connected with this medical stuff. When we see that symbol, we just go medical community, medical stuff. So there may be some positive advances for the world in medical healing energy of some sort, right? Or something important to do with medical healing, especially with a sextile to Uranus. I would expect that Jupiter, who is protective of humanity, of life itself, who represents fertility and children, the birth of children, having children. Look at Elon Musk's 14 kids. He's got Jupiter in his house of procreation. Literally, Jupiter wants us to multiply and be fruitful on Earth. And we have Uranus for shock and surprise, or something upsetting, but it could be a surprising moment, unexpected, to do with medical matters. And Jupiter, of course, being involved in humanity's protection. It could end up looking a lot like this is also a signal for a new medical advancement of some sort in the world, in the technological realm, maybe with Uranus. Who knows, could be Neuralink, but it could be anything. Expect some major medical breakthroughs in the next 12 months from this Jupiter Sun conjunction in the sign of Leo. Leo is life force energy, but it's also heart. So heart health, heart healing, but cardiovascular solutions that we've never seen before. For example, Uranus rules the electrical currents of the brain, neurological degenerative diseases, illnesses of the brain like Parkinson's, like dementia, like Alzheimer's. I bet you we're going to have medical technology breakthroughs to do with cardiovascular, heart, blood, and brain health. Okay, that's my prediction off of this for you and the world. Now, let's go ahead and do your sign. And right now, I'm going to ask Stella to I made a little 2-minute video about the difference between your sun, moon, and rising, not the longer 4-minute one, to pop it in here for those of you who are new to my channel and don't know what the difference is between those three. For my rest of you, be patient. A lot of you are irritated by hearing it again. I have a lot of new subscribers in the last couple of months, and they may not know this. So here we go. Bing. Hello, guys. You always ask me, rising sign, sun or moon. How do I listen to this thing in astrology? Well, your sun is who you really are. Think of it about your spiritual essence, your divine light, the flame of your soul that lives forever, takes on a body, and that body is the ascendant. You might think of your sun sign like the actor who plays the role in the movie. Your sun is the real you, and the role you're playing in the movie, well, that's your rising sign. You tend to look like that sign. You tend to act like the personhood of that character in the simulation. It is not your real self, but you need a vehicle for your spirit to express. And when we look at your moon sign, we think about how you feel and think about life, your happiness, your emotional blueprint, your subjective well-being. But if you remember, the moon is only reflecting the light of the spiritual essence of you, the sun. So therefore, it's a temporary aspect or an operating system for your consciousness. I see a lot of the time that people's moon sign is really useful when you want to see how you're going to feel about this sky, but it also connects you very strongly to energies of home, safety, nest, and mother. The moon is that stuff to do with the nurturant part of reality. When we talk about your sun sign, it can be father related material, but also connections to your purpose and career. For your soul is inherited, it's on planet Earth to do something, right? And we usually call that a purpose of some kind. And lastly, the ascendant, very sensitive to your body, very sensitive to the fates and the circumstances of life. That is where your rising sign is, how you showed up, took the first breath of life. What was the sign on the eastern horizon at the time of birth? That's what the rising sign is. And it's very accurate for delineating astrology, at least until the age of mid-40s. And we begin to move back into our true self, into our solar energy. And we'll notice that our sun sign becomes as accurate, or can be more and more actively useful for prediction. Already, sometimes you'll look at children for the first 7 years, and they're operating primarily on sun sign energy. So when you're looking at your kids, definitely listen for their sun sun sign over the rising sign. All right, guys, here's that short form. Take it away. Let's go into the chart ahead. All right, Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. So I have a sun and moon. I can really relate from Aries. I have my sun and moon here. I get you guys. And the energy of Jupiter's reset button here has happened in your fifth house historically. You know, August of 91 to summer of 92, you felt the energy, right? And then August of 2003 at another 12 months to 2004. And here we go again, Aries, in July July of 2014, add a year to 2015. And here we are again till next year, July 29th to August 27th next year. The energy of the reset is about your creativity and your procreativity. And Jupiter is a fertility god and he represents children. Some of you, Aries, may be baby making. You might be conceiving or birthing a baby on this reset button. Now, if you're not doing that, you might be creating a business, a entrepreneurial business, a creative project, an artistic endeavor. There's a seed planting by a father god who creates children. And this is good father energy too. Sun and Jupiter code as the good father archetype. And maybe you are going to be a good father. Maybe you are going to be a good father to your book, your creation, your business, whatever creative thing you're looking to create. Now, because it's a romance house, and if you were a single person, you might want to say a new relationship in romance may be seeded here this July 29th. And by the end of next summer, you may be in that new relationship. Because the South Node is there, that baby being born, that project being birthed, that relationship that may be seeded is karmic. It's South Node energy. It's deeply past life connected. It's connected to archetypal, destined, and fated matters. This is not your steering wheel for that baby, that relationship, that project. Something deeper is moving into you, through you, as you. And the goddess Nyx of the night is here. And Nyx, the goddess of the night, goodness gracious, gave birth to day and to light. So you're giving birth to something really powerful and really profound and really, in my view, powerful and positive. There is an energy here where this birth is happening that is so profoundly womb-like, the womb of reality, because the cosmic egg goddess herself, Nyx, is here, who gave birth to reality itself. So your womb is like on fire. Your womb is like going to be so generative. Your artistic, inspired, creative energy is on fire. When we come to the fifth house, think about your natural talents and gifts and how you would like to express them in this world. The gifts and talents you were born to express because you were born with those talents. Jupiter would like to blow those up and make them happen, increase your potential for the exploration and expression of your talents and gifts in a way that perhaps has never been seen by you before, because this has never been a sky like this before. If you were to go back to July of 2014 to, say, late summer of 2015, just in your memory, you might see the romance, the creative, the generative energy, what you nurtured into being, what you produced and birthed into the reality frames back then. Some of you could even go back and compare 2003, August, and 2004, and even August of 91 to 92. But there's never going to be quite the same because of the sky being so completely radically different and powered up in a whole different way. But the themes of the fifth house will still have been active for you back then. So you will be able to compare those notes if you must, right? To see history does rhyme. Because I'm an Aries sun and moon, I'm trying to think back to 2014. I moved into a beautiful new home for Aries moon. It could be the generation of a new home in the next 12 months. In Aries sun, it can be the generation of a new career. In Aries rising, a generation of anything new in your life that you wish to conceive into being. Okay. I started a new career path as well. In summer of 14 to summer of 15, I began my entrepreneurial journey, and I'd never done that before. So birthing new entrepreneurial paths as well can happen for all of the Aries sun, sun, moon, and rising sign people. Funny, I've been doing a lot of research into my past, looking at patterns and stuff, because you don't remember your own past as an astrologer until you start to dig in. And I'm always surprised how accurate astrology is, even though it's my main job. I hardly ever look at my own chart. It's so weird. All right. Now, what Jupiter rules in your chart, because he's birthing something new in the 5th house, might have collateral powerful benefits, particularly your 9th house, where he's in a trinal relationship. Therefore, look to some benefits like to do with foreign travel, foreign lands, book publishing, higher education, learning and teaching environments. Jupiter can conceivably move some of the energy there. Some of you might be coming into becoming a grandparent in the next year after this as well. Your house of grandparents, being a grandparent is your 9th house. That's your grandkids, your children's children. And there is this extension of Jupiter there. I'm going to really focus on that extension of Jupiter in many ways because it's the easiest one to notice. But I'll also bring to your attention the idea that you can receive either spiritual liberation or more chunky money as well from Jupiter, as he does rule your 12th house. And so there's a sense of abundance, international shores, distant revenue, money from foreign countries and people, and as well, maybe the potential for a deeper revelation about your identity beyond this matrix. In other words, spiritual awakening is heightened for you over the next 12 months for those of you who are into spiritual awakening. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising Jupiter, the cosmic reset button of a century here. You haven't seen one like this before. As Jupiter is engaging in that beautiful basket, Barbault Basket, we're going to notice that he's also resetting your 4th house. He has not reset your 4th house like this. Not recently, and not in this way for sure. He did this cosmic reset going back in time, as I said in the beginning, July of 2014, add 12 months. July of 2003, add 12 months. And August of 1991, and add 2 months. Add 2 months, add 12 months, add a year. And Jupiter is in a legacy wealth space. It's like, all right, this is money that mom and dad had, or it's money from your ancestral line, money from your genealogical upline. And so that kind of money, excuse me, I'm itchy nose, that kind of money could be coming your way. And it's literally like, okay, there is down the well of your ancestors, grandparents, parents, great-grandparents, whatever they are, there is some wealth and prosperity to be had. South Node can bring that money to you as well, but with a feeling of letting go, release, and surrender. So I'm saying legacy wealth, inheritance money, surrender, release, let go. Jupiter wants to give you a bigger house, a better house, a more fancy house, a more prosperous house. And the South Node is there. Let go of one house and get a bigger house in the next year. Yeah, 12 months. He also could tell you that you might have children in the home. Now, that could mean your children want to move in and live with you. That could mean you're going to have grandchildren. That could mean that you are old, at an age where you could conceive a child. Jupiter in the 4th house is often a child is made in the home. You know what I mean? Making a baby. So a lot of you may choose that. Some of it just may happen to you. And that can include your children making children as well, because of Venus in the 5th house at this time of this ingress. Looking to be healthier in your home is important to you. You're going to look to improving your health and being more healthy in things you're doing in the home, or your home life itself is going to be somehow more healthy. And the cosmic egg of new beginnings, the whole goddess who created night, and goddess of the night who created day and light, daylight. This is important. You're going to be generating a huge creative current in the 4th house. And if you are at all wanting to do creative and artistic things in and from your home, yes, absolutely say yes. This is great for you. You could be like some kind of like generative, creative, being in the home itself. And we have a star here that invites creativity as well. Please watch the intro. The energy, therefore, in the 4th house is a very boon for you, a bounty, both at the creative energy, what you do in the home, and money that could come from your family of origin into your possession. Because Jupiter rules the house of inheritances, in-law money, and shared resources with others, we're definitely seeing some chunky money in the Taurus life of you. And, how that money comes could be the sale of a property as well. Okay. Or again, as I said, money from your inheritance upline. And because you energize the potentially the 11th house of career gains and long-range goals and dreams and wishes and plans, there's almost like an incubator or a creatrix matrix in your 4th house. It's maybe useful to Jupiter learn more, sun shine a light on your ancestral line and your family of origin and your childhood, because by doing that, you may be resetting yourself, not just for some chunky money and more money and whatever, but for a deeper dive or understanding of your long range plans, goals, and dreams, your wishes. If you had a fairy godfather say, "What do you want?" and you didn't know, what good is that? So to know, deeply understand from the roots of your childhood what it is you truly desire in life, what you wish to accomplish, where your yearnings are, because Jupiter rules that house of the 11th. Sure, it's a windfall penny from heaven. Yes, there's an inheritance activation. You may feel a little bit of a jackpot, like money is just, or good resources financially are emerging in the next year for you. Yeah, that's true, for sure. But look to the deeper stories that I'm trying to point out to you. Technically, 10 houses from Jupiter is you. You are the outpicturing of the goodness he wishes to give you. And Taurus, with Chiron in your sign, you're trying to heal an existential wound of identity. Taurus sun, career, existential wound, daddy wound, Taurus moon, mama wound, and wound about your home life and emotions. But of course, you Taurus risings, your whole character in the simulation is wounded and being healed. And Jupiter wants to outpicture all of the blessings in your identity, all right, in the who you are in the world of you. And the next 12 months, you might see that, right? You might figure that out to be true. All right, we'll do Gemini, and I'll get a chocolate bar after Gemini. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. I am totally loving your story because you are so jacked up on that Barbault Basket as you're anchored here by Uranus. I get it. I have Uranus. I have my sun progressed into Gemini. So I get the vibration of this for us. And so we're feeling pretty energized, original, inventive, excited by life, exhilarated, or just unnerved. Maybe your Kundalini is rising. But against that backdrop, Jupiter is resetting our 3rd house like he hasn't done since August of 91, add 12 months. August of 2003, add 12 months. And July of 2014, add 12 months. This reset button is extraordinary as a part of this celestial basket. More importantly, the South Node is where we're surrendering and letting go. Jupiter's giving us bounty and explosive prosperity and goodness and expansion and growth and luck. And the sun is shining brightly as a Leo light. Where do you want to be a leader, a celebrity of the 3rd house with big, bold courage? 3rd house, writing, teaching, marketing, selling, social media, and the local environment in which you live. Now, this energy is so powerful because of the basket. And so we don't know, you can compare it to the dates I've given you before. It may not quite seem the same, but if I was to say my progressed sun in Gemini was still there in 2014, 15, summer of 14 to 15, that was in Gemini back then, and I was to try to compare notes, this was a breakthrough window of time for me in which I had my very first ever viral hits, all right? And so the idea of hitting some kind of success story in the social media landscape, blogging, all of that happened in my world. So it is back again, but now it's so deeply anchored in the South Node of one's dharmic karma, one's karma, one's yearning for some kind of deeper, like you got this yearning for like resourcing yourself from a deep spiritual well of all-knowing stillness, or some deep well of surrendered thy will, not my will, to the divine. Because this is an efforting cadent house. It's where we put our effort into the matrix to make things happen. It's one of the desire houses, like the 11th. It's a Kama house. And so our urge to yearn and create and desire to create has got the cosmic egg goddess Nyx hatching something here. If she could create the world itself and all of reality, what can you do with that power in your 3rd house, in your writing, in your marketing, in your communicating, in your teaching, and in your learning? What you want to learn that is a skill, what you want to teach that is a skill. If you always wanted to write a book, start now, because Pluto in the publishing house with a full moon building up here in Aquarius says you should definitely think about the skill of communicating through writing, because the third house is the writing house, the hands, all right? Any other skill you're good at, focus there. Jupiter is the ruler, of course, of Gemini, of Sagittarius. There's a collateral thrust towards your seventh house. Jupiter is being born again, and in the next 12 months, he could say to you, is it time for a relationship, a business partnership, a marriage to enter into your story? Should a marriage be happening or wanting to be happening, or a new relationship? Probably, with Venus in the fourth house and Jupiter in the third, local environment, meeting somebody close to home. This would not be a long distance love story at all. This should be generatively local and in your own environment, that this story can show up in the next 12 months for single ones. If you're married, there may be more positive flow and good energy in your committed love marriage type story. And because Jupiter also does rule your 10th house of career, then from the third house, he's jacking up your public reputation, your public recognition, and your career stories, right? So there's this vibe of go big or go home, right? Sky's the limit from your third house, but it would outpicture as a career public display energy. So we're talking about third house that way. Siblings belong to the third too. Look at how your sibling relationship might change here in a positive way, any of your siblings actually, because you might have experienced that same cosmic flow with siblings on the other times that Jupiter was here. Now, before we get going to continue on, I think I'm going to get a little bit of water and a piece of chocolate. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. I do miss my Zoom. I cannot evenly break here. So let's go back to the basic Cancer. You're exalted by Jupiter. So get ready, set. Jupiter is resetting in your money house. It's definitely a boon for your finances in the next 12 months, starting on the 29th of July. And you've gone through this kind of money bounty boon expansion growth before in August of 91. And August of 2003 and July of 2014. And each of those dates I've given you, add 12 months. This is the beginning of a similar pattern where you may come into money, have more money, possess more money, make more money. You may see a productive expansion of resources, assets, and possessions. Now, when this is happening here for you, this reset button is also this time accompanied by the South Node of surrender, release, and let go. It can also be a bit of a confusing place because sometimes the South Node will deplete our savings or ask us to release an earning style of work or job. And if you were thinking of releasing some earnings job style work, which you could very well do, you might find that doing so is also going to make you more bounteous. So what you let go of equals more money in the long run, somehow, some way. So don't be afraid to quit or leave a job or work, because it may turn out to be the best thing you've ever done for yourself. You look like you're grinding a bit up there with that Saturn in your 10th house. And Jupiter's resetting you in another way. We have the creatrix god Nyx and fiscal hygiene there. Got the goddess of hygiene there. You want to eat more healthy. You want to have big, bold, fun, good food that is healthy for you. All cancers will be dietarily enhanced by the time this year is done, especially with Jupiter ruling your 6th house of sickness and illness, indicating an incredible, powerful energy about dietary shifts that are very healthy, letting go of foods and substances that are not good for you. All of you Cancers, listen in. But also, Elon Musk, listen to me now. Stop eating popsicles every night before bed. Now, with the Sagittarius story too, which happens to be your work and livelihood house, and the money thereof is being surrendered and released. I don't know. I kind of feel like you're kind of jettisoning some kind of money-making stuff, career, job, profession, strategies for making money, resource attainment, and releasing one thing, but prospering anyway, bounty anyway for you, right? It doesn't matter you're letting it go. You're still being bounteous. Jupiter here can indicate something going on with your family, and it can indicate prosperity within your family, especially your siblings or parents or the generative family that you came from, the origin family too. And so there may be more bounty and prosperity within the family itself. But there's a Nyx, the cosmic egg that had coupled with Erebus, the god of darkness, the god of night, the god of darkness, gave birth to day and gave birth to light, and therefore it is about creation. So there's a huge creative energy, a huge generative energy in your 2nd house of money. So you have a creatrix energy. How can you make money or more wealth happen? The next 12 months will show you how. With Venus in the second house from Jupiter, like the gains of Jupiter, look for that to be online, social media, writing, communicating, teaching, marketing, and selling. Could very well be a path for you guys as well. Or more bounty coming from a sibling towards you as well. In this case, it looks really good for siblings in general, but sibling one older or sibling one younger, both can be generating more money for you somehow in your life. Technically, you might want to focus on the ninth house a little bit more than you normally do. It can be a place of deep spiritual liberation for you, but also a place of forms of money that come in chunks coming your way. In the next year, that can be legal entitlements and dispensations, winning a legal case and getting money from a court, money that could come through grants, stipends, and stuff to do with education, and money that may come from a book publishing deal or something like that. So there's another sense of where the bounty may emerge. And this reset is a year long, not a day in the life of. You got to let it ride. You got to let it unroll. This is your voice, your vocation and calling. Any one of you who wants to be a teacher, right? This is a good placement for you because Jupiter is an educator, teacher, guru, and this is the house of your speech. The bottom line is your money is going to be better than it was from now till by the end of this year. By next August, you seem to be better on the financial front and more wealthy and more prosperous. Leo, sun, moon, and rising Jupiter connects with the sun in your first house. Sun in the first house is all vitalizing, and it's your lord and your ruler. And here comes Jupiter, Santa Claus, fairy godfather, and resets your reality. And this reset button for you, Leo sons, is a reset about your career or your father relationship. Leo moons, your mother or your home life and nest, and your rising sign, a very big reset about your identity in this simulation. Who are you? What are you playing? Do you want to be leaderful, magnanimous, generous, big-hearted? Do you want to identify more as someone connected to children? Because, Jupiter is the ruler of your fifth house of children. And there may be an indication of fertility for you. You may be pregnant. You may grow a belly as a woman over the next year. You may also find that you are experiencing more children in your life. So your children may generate more children for you. And we call that grandchildren. You might get in a relationship with somebody and be nurturing their children in the next year. We want Jupiter to make you healthy, wealthy, and well. And he can do that. And he's got a creatrix god and a Hygean god. So he got a Hygeia, like medicine and health and wellness. Nyx, like cosmic birth of all reality, creator energy. How are you creating something profound in your life, particularly connected to wellness and health, particularly connected as well, perhaps, to the creative artistic part of your reality? You may want to really identify more strongly with your ability to manifest. Sometimes I've noticed that if you were born with the fifth house lord in the first house, your abilities to be a manifester are on steroids. So start looking at your ability this year to be more of a manifester in reality, and notice that you can generate or create what you want more than you notice you've ever been able to do in any other year, of course, except for August of 91, August of 2003, and July of 2014. Add 12 months for each of those dates, because then you also experience something similar, but not with Barbault Basket, not with that huge celestial rarity dominating our sky, making this extraordinarily rare. How you approach your love life in terms of sex, romance, and then love and marriage and commitment is through the lens of Jupiter. Generous, magnanimous, commanding, and leaderful. There's something about this next 12 months, where you will not suffer any fools gladly. And if your marriage partner, opposite Pluto and Juno, is a problem child, this could go the way of the dinosaur, because Jupiter rules your house of shared resources. Divorce settlements are there, as well as inheritances. So there can be a kind of feeling like your in-law money should be coming to you, or there's money on the way from your spouse for some reason, or that your marriage partner, if not meeting your medal of your generous standards, like you're kind, you're generous, you're magnanimous, but you only put up with so much, You could be lobbing something at your partner, like a cease and desist or get out of Dodge. South node means you're surrendered, you're letting go. North node in your marriage house is like, I want to grow a bigger pot for this baby to thrive in, but if I can't, I'm out of here. So there's a real kind of like come to Jesus in long-term committed love relationships. And if you're single, you could definitely meet somebody this year. Okay. There's that option as well. A lot of times Jupiter in the 1st and the 7th leads to new relationships as well as old ones ending. Jupiter doesn't give you what you want. He gives you what you need. He's baking in the story that doesn't end till next August when he reboots himself in your 2nd house. So there is a lot going on the relationship front for all of you. Endings and new beginnings for sure. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. You're going to experience Jupiter reset button in your 12th house. Your 12th house is deep spiritual attainment, liberation from the matrix, waking up to your true self. This kind of liberation can only happen with Jupiter's sun every 12 years. If you're looking for it, it did give you an option in August of 91, August of 2003, and July of 2014, and added 12 months to each of those dates. It's back. If you're not looking for spiritual liberation, no problem. What I'm trying to point to is the path is there for you if you want it. Jupiter is guru, teacher, the one who shows the way, who dispels that darkness so you can see that light. That is a good direction for you. Guides, mentors, teachers, healers. Chiron also pointing at you right now from your 9th house in foreign lands. Good indication some of you might go deep. You might be looking for a shaman, a guide, a healer, a mentor, a teacher. And you might be looking for a attainment of spiritual wisdom. However, Jupiter can bring you money here, and it can be family, legacy, wealth, or inheritance. It could be money coming your way through from a spouse. It could be money coming in any kind of chunk from some place, somehow, some way. So coming into money would also involve, if it was an inheritance, the likelihood of a good father figure, Jupiter, father, son, good, and somebody maybe in a hospital setting. Now, this is true for Virgo rising particularly, and Virgo sun secondarily. Virgo moon maybe not as much, but all of you still have this bounty, money possibility in your story too. You may attain an ability to come into not just chunks of money, inheritance money, in-law money. So your partner's, great grandfather dies and you guys get a chunk of money. There's that. But also real estate, property, and home generations. Generates a positive current for you. Bigger home, better home, buy a home, sell a home, make money. The creatrix is there, Nyx. She birthed all of reality from the cosmic egg. What are you trying to create in this life? What are you trying to generate here? Something is trying to be like a deep spiritual baby eggs thingy. I don't know. Dinosaur egg is here. You're trying to birth something really powerful. We haven't seen a Barbault basket. It can really radically birth a new direction in your career and purpose as well. So there's a lot going on this reset button. It's just profound. There's alone time when Jupiter is in the 12th house. It becomes extremely productive and extremely joyful, and you could be beginning like a sabbatical from marriage, or time away from a spouse, or more alone time for yourself. Maybe spouse has to travel. Maybe spouse is having issues with their health as well in hospital settings. Some Virgos may lose a spouse here too. I can't lie. I have to tell you how I see it. I can't lie here. I don't know if it's like, end of a relationship or the spouse is having significant challenges to their health. But Jupiter resetting you here has happened before. And this is different than any other reset. I want you to go back to August of 1991. Did I say this to you yet? August of 2003 and July of 2014, and add a year. For instance, I have a Virgo girlfriend, and summer of 14 to summer of 15, she was in a relationship, but it ended that year, right? So an end of a committed live-in long-term love story can occur under the sky over the next 12 months in your reality. Not always, but quite often, especially Virgo rising. South Node is deep spiritual wisdom. It's letting go and surrendering. Your mantra in life, especially if you're all kerfuffled about inheritances, legacy wealth, marital discord problems, etc., your mantra is, I let go, I let God. Everything is happening for a reason. The universe has my back. It's not happening to me. It's happening for me. I'm just giving you some codes. This is not about your health or your stuff. But you're going to be challenged a little bit, even though more money may show up in your life as well. So it's not an either or. It is an and here. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. Jupiter is Santa Claus and fairy godfather combined in your 11th house, because that's his joy house in ancient astrology. And he's resetting the house of good spirit, where we experience positive things such as windfalls, or that old cliche of pennies from heaven. We experience life as rewarding. We experience the fulfillment of our wishes and dreams. We concoct long-range goals and plans here. This is the direct gains of our career, whether you're winning the Academy Award, getting the Golden Office, getting the Employee Year Award, getting a larger salary. This is where we experience the rollout of a red carpet in the success we generate from the career we choose. And in that regard, you are unrolling golden opportunities and success. This is extraordinarily powerful because we have a creatrix goddess here that's never been here before, saying it's almost like you can birth things from the womb of your dreams and goals for your life. Like the 7 of Cups in the tarot, you can use your visionary fulfillment, wish fulfillment energy a little more powerful than normal. And, you may also be really pulling on or generating a deeper spiritual reason for your long-range plans, your fulfilled dreams you wish to fulfill, your yearnings and desires, because we do have the South Node here. And, desire is not the South Node. Rahu is to let go of desire. Rahu is to get the desire. Ketu, the South Node, is to let go of that desire. So while you have desire, you have refined desire. Jupiter is noble, good, and true. South Node is let go of the garbage desire. Some Maserati doesn't matter. You want to find true desire and move to an alignment with your truest and most noble, unattached desires, right? Desires that you're not clinging anymore, right? It's very playful. It's very wishful. I wished upon a star, that kind of thing. And it came true. Allow yourself to make bold wishes and declarative dreams, because this is your year for that. And because of the Barbault Basket, it's likely to show up in ways that surprise you unexpectedly. Great for book publishing, great for pilgrimage, international travel, international career success, and good for creative, generative energy and the muse inspiration, good for entrepreneurial endeavors as well. And when it comes to your marriage, Jupiter is also trining the marriage house. Business partners and marriage partners are going to be smoothed out here. If there's any troubles, those troubled waters are leaving. Because Jupiter is the ruler of your 3rd house, right? That is important. This is like August of 91, by the way, August of 2003 and July of 2014. Each of those dates add 12 months when Jupiter, Sun reset a fortunate environment for you, your 11th house of good spirit. So each of those years, you may have had a surge of success in your ambition, professional yearnings, and long-range plans and dreams, and maybe even a new bounty with friends and larger groups of friends and more profitable and successful social circles and friends. And so I have a Libra friend or two, and both of them had major successes in 2014-15. One was doing book publishing. There's just a sense that I've seen the Libras go through this in the past, and there's usually a kind of boon, a success story unfolding in their career. Jupiter rules your house of siblings. Jupiter's in the house of a sibling one older, but siblings in general are beneficial to you. Siblings bring bounty, prosperity, and wealth. A sibling can have a baby. One of your siblings can be pregnant in this year. And you might also notice that Jupiter is the ruler of the 6th house of your work and livelihood. It's very feasible that, of course, as I said, a lot of this bounty is expressing through service as in work and career. And this is how you're generating this success, because you're doing something in the realm of money, earnings, and career, art houses. If you were single and looking for a relationship, I think you could find something here, just because of the trine to the committed house and the visibility of Jupiter's gaze upon your fifth. And therefore, love stories may emerge that transform your reality in profound ways that probably lead to a commitment. There may be a significant age difference between you and the new love. There may not be. Existing relationships can flourish under this story. Venus in the second house from the 12th house, if you're looking for new love, can bring you love with a foreigner or someone in a distant shore or far off land. It's also good for spiritual retreat and time out alone to generate your, to do something creative or productive in the next year that takes you in the direction of a goal, dream, or plan. You may travel a lot more than you normally do for some reason in the next 12 months. That also includes potentially pilgrimages, but just the travel part of your reality might become increased. All right, significantly with Jupiter ruling a travel house here. And it may have been true in 14, 15, 2003, 2004, and 1991, 92. So compare notes to the past. The past will set you free. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Jupiter's reset button is happening. It is going to reset your career of 10th house. Now, this is the good father archetype, and my son doesn't mind when I talk about him. I've asked, and he will be a parent, and this is coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm recording this July 20th, and he gets to play a visible role in the world as the good parent, the good father, right? So a new career for him would be, I'm going to parent my new kid, right? So you might be wanting to know that you're coming into a time where you become, for the next year, Scorpio, leaderful, charismatic, maybe performative, big, bold, and lucky in your career. And the reset button until next August can bring you that with the creatrix god here too. The creatrix god is like Nyx, you know. She was the god of darkness. She had sex with the god of She was god of the night, had sex with the god of darkness, gave birth to day and light. You know what I mean, right? It's pretty cosmic stuff. What are you giving birth to in your career? What are you trying to birth in your career? What is it you want to generate as a bold, creative, from something from nothing archetype? Jupiter rules your entrepreneurial house and your parenting and your children. So you could be on a new path of parenting. You might be on a new artistic or creative path, fifth house, a new entrepreneurial path may be emerging in the next 12 months. And Jupiter rules your money house, and that would be his attempt to bring you more money. Any way he can, he will try to bring you more financial resources, likely generated from career and work, but not always. With Pluto in the fourth house, this can be legacy wealth. With the Barbault Basket touching down with your eighth house, we could see inheritance money coming to some Scorpios in the next 12 months. You can compare to August of 91, August of 2003, and July of 2014. And on each of those, add a year. See if anything broke through, shifted, up-leveled in that career space for you. Now, when I say 2014 and I think about some people I know, yes, there was some inheritance money coming through 2014 and 15 for that one individual I'm thinking about. And in 2003, there was also an inheritance for that individual. So I can think of two Scorpios who got money during those last two cycles, right? So you have to go back and compare notes, but this could generate a current for that as well. We're looking at money from the patrilineal line most likely, but not always. This chart can show money coming up from females or males in your family of origin system your way. They don't have to pass away. It could also be a wealth transfer, like here's some money, here's a trust, here I'm signing the deed to my house. It doesn't mean people are always dying for this to happen, okay? In fact, in 2014-15, the one I'm thinking about, there was no death involved. There was just transfer of wealth from the family of origin. It's a good time in the next year to take a leap of faith. If you really want a new career path or you want to be an entrepreneur, go for it. If you want to maybe move into a place of greater leadership, apply for a job of more power or authority, you actualize the momentum here and go for it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained here. Yeah, like I'm thinking of some famous Scorpio folk, like Vladimir Putin, I believe, is a Scorpio rising. Like, this is good for his career, right? In the next year. You see what I mean? All right, so let's continue forward. All right, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. It's your lord of your sky is Jupiter, as it is for Pisces. And so the guy that takes care of you is trining you from the ninth house as he joins the sun. It's so positive. First things, international themes are very important in the next year. You may want to move abroad, travel abroad. Under the sky, you could relocate to another country in the next year. You may want to go on a pilgrimage. You may want to go like a El Camino or some Mecca or something like that. You might want to go back to university or go to college or university for the first time. You may want to, or you may win in a court or legal case, especially if it involves disputes around money from your family of origin. And you might even really lift off here in the publishing industry if you're at all a writer. And so these are themes that all Sagittarius get to enjoy. Venus is trining you, but the South Node is with him, always inviting in a surrender, let go, and release. So there's still, while you're expanding and growing and profiting, it's almost purpose over profit because this is the purpose house of the chart. Can you lean into purpose over profit and profit anyway? Make your motive true and pure to be aligned with purpose. The energy of Jupiter owning the real estate of you means that you are healthy and you are well and you are optimistic and you are revitalized by this particular story. And you may be feeling more drawn to spiritual wisdom and knowledge. You may want to learn astrology, for example. You may want to study scriptures. You may want to find a spiritual community, a teacher, a pastor, a guru, somebody to guide you in this year. Even a coach or a therapist could come into your life in the next 12 months and transform your reality. Because Jupiter rules the fourth house of home and he's in the house of foreign lands, and this is from his perspective, also your fourth house is chunky money. You may come into some chunky money, say that without a lisp, chunky money that allows for you to relocate. That can be inheritance money. That can be legacy money for your family. This can be money coming to you that allows for a change of home. And that change of home may not be at all like next to where you live now. You might want to travel more far afield in a move of some kind, especially to a foreign place. You've been through this before. Did I say that? August of 91, August of 2003, and July of 2014. Add 12 months from each of those dates. Did anything like what I'm describing happen to you at all back then? Compare notes, see what happened. See if you can find similar threads here. There is a feeling that you might want to. This is like a runway. I find that the ninth house is a runway to take off, like a takeoff and landing. And Venus is in your career house. Yeah, she is not in her best shape, but you could have a takeoff in your career here. Something might want to lift off in your career. Go back to 2014-15. Did that happen? Did you have a career lift off? Or 2003, 2004, compare notes. You could be peaking or have reached peaks or will reach a peak now as some ambition or goal that you consider a career, basically, okay? A sibling too older than you, siblings in general are very factored into this energy this time around. So I'm going to be very specific, and you won't believe how this one works. It's like a sibling, 1 younger, 2 younger, 3 younger, and 4 younger, or a sibling 2 older, 2 above you, 3 above you, 4 above you, that kind of thing. There's 100 ways to Sunday. This is getting siblings involved. So you may experience some bounty or prosperity connected to sibling relationships in some way. If you're looking for a new relationship, you could, because of Jupiter's trinal relationship to your 5th house. And if you do have a new relationship, you may meet somebody because of foreign travel, international travel. You're traveling, they're traveling. Themes of international and love and romance may emerge here for you. So travel can bring a new love story into your life if you're looking for love. And that could be a theme for some of you Sagittarius in the next 12 months. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. You have Jupiter resetting your cosmic button of goodness, prosperity, and wealth in a prosperity, goodness, money house, your chunks of money. The only other thing I'll say before I go into the money story, if you're looking for spiritual wisdom and liberation, and Jupiter, Sun, South Node combine forces in your house of the death of the ego, right? Then this is a good thing. And it could even involve a teacher, a guru, or something in the mix, or teaching, and it tripwires you into a total enlightenment, right? Otherwise, let's talk money. Let's talk chunks of money from siblings, anyone? That could happen. Jupiter rules your siblings' house. Chunks of money coming from your exaltation house, a marriage settlement, a divorce settlement, your in-laws. Chunks of money coming from foreign places, distant shores, and lands. There's money here. There's money in them there. There's gold in them there hills. There's money in that eighth house. Stock investments taking off. Trading taking off. Money from royalty income taking off. Some bounty here. Good luck is here in a money house. Now, you could also let go of some money as well as get money here as well. This is shared resources with others, including a spouse, including settlements around spousal money, payments to each other. Some of that self-known let go release could be the end of that. But at the same time, there's an increase of prosperity here and money that you don't directly earn. You're not like stomping the ground with your paycheck here. Something different is happening. There's no doubt about it. There can be an opportunity here for a kind of international opportunity for financial gain, where you might have to go abroad or travel abroad, or just travel in order to gain the money that you're here to get in a chunky way. This cosmic reset button has a creation goddess, and she hasn't been here before. Nyx, the goddess of the night, who created day and light with her partner Erebus, the darkness. And so, are you creating something completely new, generating, if you're going to the enlightenment story, because Jupiter rules your house of full liberation, you're 12, then you've got like the cosmic egg goddess here. So you could be going for a massive jump into, enlightenment and samadhi or something like that, satori, whatever. But if that's not your cup of tea, then this is going to be a money story. International opportunities for a significant advance of financial success in, getting better, more money. It's both, could be like a sign-on bonus, a severance package. It could be a commission. It could be a finder's, someone lobs a bunch of money at you, but in the next 12 months you get to go and you have to travel to get it, or travel to do the job that is going to give you that money. So there's just an increase of money. Consulting would be good under this chart as well, internationally, things like that. Now, you've been through this before, right? Did I tell you? I don't remember who I talked to already. August of 91, August of 2003, July of 2014. Then each of those days, add 12 months, you went through this experience of chunky money bounty increase before. So you can go back in time 12 years ago to 2014 summer to 2015. Possibly you were experiencing more prosperity than you normally do in some, way in your life. And 2003, 4, 91, 92. The prosperity factor here is always going to be different. This has a Barbault Basket, unexpected opportunity or luck, breakdown of debt, elimination of debt, debt repayment completely done, a de-escalation of debt suddenly, and surprisingly cutting away debt. Where indebtedness exists, debt is eliminated somehow, some way. And your fourth house is really cool too, because the Jupiter trine to the fourth house can be a kind of mortgages, banks, loans, and escrow kind of thing, right? So there's could be a bounty there. And if you go back to the dates I gave you already, maybe there was something going on with land, property, and real estate. And there's other times and dates that I've already defined for you. And maybe you can compare notes on that, like what was going on in 2003, 4, summer to summer, and same 14, 15 regarding land, prosperity, and money. And even in this case, of course, legacy, wealth, and inheritance. All of those apply. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I am one of you, Aquarius rising. And we have a bounteous explosion of creative energy in the house of our seventh place, which Jupiter is resetting. And it is about marriage, long-term love story, business partnerships. It's about people who come into our life who want to be generous, magnanimous, and supportive and big towards us. It's also about our field of endeavor, the public to our career, the audience, the fans, the marketplace, the clients. Now, Jupiter is big and bold here. Now, his energy of a reset button here, anytime Jupiter does a reset in houses 1 or 7, for example, any kind of activity, it can look like a new beginning in love. A new relationship is coming in, right? This is a very powerful energy because of the goddess of the night, who the cosmic egg, birds, day and light, The whole story's in the intro. Well, what are you birthing into the audience, marketplace, long-term love relationship, and business partnership house? What is being born here? It's huge creative birth and generative energy here for you. And the stars that are there are also about very creative and generative energies as well, that I read about those stars in the intro. Creative expressivity is with that donkey star. So there's a lot of creative energy going out into the realm of others, and you as Pluto, Moon / Juno, because there's going to be a new moon for you here too, are pushing that energy into the outward realm of the public or audience. Well, Aquarius, the other thought I have here is that Jupiter, has done this before. So go back to August of 91 to 92, go back to 2003, August of 2004, and go back to July of 14 to July of 2015 for beginnings and endings in relationships. Because Jupiter, you don't always get what you want, get you need, has this terrible habit of also, as much as he invites in a bold, big, and new thing, he can also close down and shut away the old. And so self-known as amplitude for that. You either come into contact the next year with a destined, magnanimous, powerful partnership that is coming off of destiny and past lives and eclipse energy, or you're ending a relationship that was very important to you, because this is what Jupiter does. And, that ending is kind of ordained or something like that. In 2003, 2004, I had my marriage end, my long one with whom I had children, a couple of decades over and done with. And in 2014, 15, as an Aquarius rising, that was like the runway to the ending in 2016 of my second marriage, also significantly long-term. So, I've learned to trust the Jupiterian impulse, because I'm glad that those things are no longer, those people and I are no longer together. But, I'm friends with them. But so go back and do some note taking and comparisons is what I'm suggesting. Okay. Jupiter in this house reset button story, as Jupiter is the ruler of your 11th house of career gains, can jumpstart your career, can increase your success in your career if it involves reaching out to a larger group, an audience, a marketplace, or relying on benefits and allies, friends and allies and benefactors to support you in your yearnings, goals, long-range dreams and plans, and the gains of your career specifically. You may be attracting wealthy, powerful, and successful people into your world who have a lot of group influence, and that's helping your career also succeed. But that will be true for a year. Okay, well, Jupiter's been here since June the 30th in your 7th house. This is a reset button for 12 months. So it's game on in that regard. And I have to say, well, Emilia Ortez and Amrit Sandhu's show, I'll be interviewed on their shows. But all that began to generate with Jupiter in the 7th. And now this reset button kind of bakes in more of that for the next year, conceivably anyway. Your money house, making money, generating revenue, savings, accruing more wealth in your life, possessing more wealth. That's part of the house that Jupiter, he rules your Pisces house. It does not belong to Neptune, it belongs to Jupiter. And that means that you're going to increase your wealth. More money is coming your way. More money should show up that you can possess. But ironically, in a way that it's also structured 8 houses from Jupiter, some of the money may look more like a chunk of money coming in, inbound chunks of money coming in. Then Mars, Jupiter rules your house of windfalls as well, and pennies from heaven, and Uranus is in the house of good fortune. This Barbault Basket could bring you a chunk of money, a windfall, an inheritance, a gambling game, winning in a gambling, buying a lottery ticket and winning, getting some kind of money that could come from anywhere that isn't necessarily your regular paycheck. And this is coming together in a way that may have happened before, right? You could have felt the same energy before in the dates I've given you, but this is more specifically rare because of the way the basket activates the house of lottery wins and good fortune and all of that stuff. So there is a sense you could win money or feel like you've won money or just come into money in the next 12 months. So keep your eye on that. It's not a one-off. It's not the day that Jupiter, not necessarily the day that Jupiter enters the sun, although I'm not going to say it couldn't be. And certainly with Saturn, Neptune in your 3rd house, trined by Jupiter's reset, social media, writing, teaching, marketing, selling are all ordained good areas and directions for you. to advance your career gains, to increase your success in your profession, etc. So there's a vibe there. The third house activities are blessed here as well. It's especially opportune for any of you who work in and from the home. So I'm not going to go too much into that here, but you have to trust me on the in and from the home story. Finally, you are ruled. This is Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You are ruled here. You are ruled by Jupiter, not Neptune. And Jupiter is your lord of your life, the Lugna lord, the lord of the ascendant, the helmsman of your chart, the number one planet to pay attention to. And he's in your work house. And this is good because the next year, the next 12 months, you're going to have a lot of work. You're going to have more work. You might have employees. You might increase your employees. You might become well employed. And you're going to be of service. And you're going to be thriving and vital. And your health is going to improve for sure. Your health is going to improve. Jupiter Hygeia. And the South Node is also where you're coming from into your work from a deep spiritual surrender, a deep place of spiritual knowledge and wisdom. You want to serve. Sure, you might let go of one line of work in order to amplitude into the right one, because you will do that if you need to. Jupiter is the ruler of your 10th house of career, and therefore your career is taking off, as well as your work life, as well as your health. It's a great time for pets. Some of you might get a big dog, a big pet, or a multiple number of pets, a litter of pets coming your way. Creatrix Nyx, the one who created reality, who gave birth to the day and to the light. She's in there. What is it you're giving birth to? What are you creating in your 6th house? You may be creating something through the livelihood matrix, right? Through the work alignment, the gains of the earnings, work, career story, and the sense of being productive, bounteous, optimistic, and creative in the next year. Next 12 months. Were you in any way relating to those vibes? In August of 91 to 92, summer of 92, August of 2003 to summer of 2004, or July of 2014 to summer of 2015, those are times that this energy was here for you. How was your health? How were your pets? How was your job and work? How was your debt situation? Jupiter can be a blessing around matters of credit cards and debts and indebtedness, right? Jupiter here is also lord of your body, and he is in the house of sickness. And with Hygeia, it's remediable. It's remedying things that weigh you down on the health front. Okay, so improving your health, getting healthier, letting go of whatever it is that impedes your health. The trine to Saturn, you can let go of what you're eating, that you restrict, contain, do a diet, get rid of gluten or something. Certainly this tells me that will be successful. You will persevere at it. You will succeed at it. So it's really good for you to release food styles that make you ill. And you can do that in an easier way than you normally do, because Jupiter is giving you superior blessings. You'll have the knowledge and wisdom to do better health through better diet and food style. Good for ditching your addictions, should you have any as well, and really cutting them out for good, even like spontaneous, healing from an addiction. You may feel like you are somebody who is going deeper into the occult mysteries. You might find that you are working more in alignment with spiritual, deep, occult, meaning hidden mysteries like the tarot, the numerology, the astrology. But if you don't do that, you're almost like a paranormal superpower. You're a researcher. You're understanding the way the world really works. You're trying to figure out what demons and angels are up to anyway. Like there's a part of you that's kind of going really deep, into like the sort of the realms that I'm trying to describe to you, right? We could code it as just lucky opportunities for work, lucky opportunities for more money and career, lucky opportunities for employment opportunities. Those are easy codes for you to go with. And, Saturn will say, well, yeah, but we're going to do like slow and easy or steady as she goes or work hard. With Saturn retrograde at this time, if you wanted to go back into a form of earnings, livelihood, money that you've done before, a type of employment or work that you've done in the past, Jupiter will find a way to make that happen. And the South Node also represents the past. So you could go back into a career modality connected to things you had done before and succeeded at. And so again, track back to summer of 14 to 15 and summer of 2003 to 2002 and onward, and all that, and see if you can find the links in the chain there for what this might be about. All right. So anyway, it's good for your health. That's the good news. It's good for your money if you are going to employ yourself or be employed here. Yeah, career and money stories look good on you. And by the way, with the Barbault Basket, which makes it extremely rare, and Mars, Uranus, some of this excitement here around money, career, etc., it can lead you to relocate your home, change your home, move your home, exit your home, and get a new home. Very possibly you're extremely lucky with rentals because Jupiter is in the rental house, right? So moving in rentals and moving in job and moving in career are all sanctioned. The gains of the whole thing here is the seventh house. So there may also be the potential for a business partnership, a karmic relationship, love relationship. That's secondary to everything else I've said. Everything else I said is much more important. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. This has been another long video recorded for you on July 20th. I'm not sure when I'm going to pump this baby out. Liking and subscribing helps the channel grow. I would so appreciate that. And I'll see you guys on the next video. And over here next is a short story about the Sky Reader program. Maybe me talking for 10 minutes in case you're interested. All right. See you guys soon. Every year I teach Sky Reader in the fall. It's always in September. It's usually 6 weeks long. And this time we're going for 7. We're taking it a little slower, giving you a very kind of leg up first week, which we take the pieces of the sky and teach you to read them in a very constructive and well-paced manner. This is my favorite class to teach when I teach Sky Reader. I always feel so excited because you have learned to read your own sky. You now know what your chart is all about, and you know how to read the basic language of astrology for your friends, family, and your children, whoever you want to share it with. No, we're not professionally certifying you. At Lunatic Astrology, I'm your teacher, Lori Lothian. We're teaching you to fish so that when you listen to me on YouTube and you're getting all of that guidance, maybe you can also get your own. You know, we don't want to move against the sky. We want to move with the sky. We want to move in the area of our lives that brings us flow and ease because the sky supports that. And by having a knowledge of what the sky is saying and relative to our own natal sky, we are able to operate at a new level. That level is about flow. It is about not arguing with what is happening and moving in the direction of what wants to happen. It is so darn simple. Life is full of ups and downs, but if you know that there's a swamp, 2 doors away, and if you walk that way, you're going to get stuck in quicksand, you can avoid that. If you go to the left instead of the right, there's a beautiful meadow with a lake. Why not take that path? The sky is always grabbing us. It's called the grahas or the grabbers. The planetary planets, like where they're going in the sky, the transits, that moving heavens, the moving stars, the map of time is a map of where we should avoid getting stuck and where we may move forward with freedom. And the grabber part of planets is that they're almost like celestial teasers, right? They want to grab us and make us move in a direction. Sometimes it's not in our highest and best good. And I don't mean in a conscious malefic way. I just mean you can take something like Neptune and make it all about transcendence and spiritual union and high creativity and imagination. And you could take it all the way down to drug addiction, and destitution maybe, and even things to do with mental challenges, health challenges. So you can operate at all levels of every planet. In Sky Reader, we show you your highest potential. Now, this is an introductory class. If you want to come to Sky Reader to be your own astrologer and time your best life, then you're coming because you are curious astrologically. You're not coming because you've already taken some heavyweight courses under your belt. You're coming because you've been listening to my channel or other astrologers, and you've always had a curiosity about learning, and you've always wanted to learn to read the sky, which is the map of time. So I'm hoping some of you will come join me there because I've graduated hundreds of students so far, and the feedback is wonderful. And I invite all of my students, former, to come back every year and play around in redoing the course for 75% off, because I think the more you do it, the more you deepen it. We have guest teachers every year. When you join Sky Reader, you get the archived vault. In other words, you can go back and watch other guest classes in astrocartography, the astrology of relocation, and things to do with zodiacal releasing and more. We have these guest teachers coming in this year are so much fun. We have a guest teacher about the love codes, Donnie Lim of astrology, learning to read your Venus story. We have a guest teacher coming in about medical or wellness astrology. We have another one showing us about how to choose the perfect day to do something, day and time to launch your website, get married. That's called electional astrology. We have what's your purpose, dharma kind of thing with another teacher. So what we're doing is we're giving you a lot of content. What you're doing is you're taking time to learn, but also to hold on to that content forever. It is evergreen. Once you have it, you never don't have it. If it's over your head at first, you won't be over your head when you take a second stab at it. Weekly Q&As, different time zones, so we can get people around the world in those Q&As. We alternate between evening and night every second week on Wednesday nights, and usually they're at 5:30 or 6 p.m. Pacific time. We also have the idea that the class itself is now happening at 9:30 a.m. in Pacific time on Saturday, starting on the 19th of September. So that's wonderful. We have a Facebook group and a Discord group that we have moderators running where you can meet other people who are learning astrology, share your notes, and get to meet some new astrologically curious friends. Who knows? You might meet your soulmate there. And we're also taking you through a journey that is sequential, from learning to read the sky to being able to use two very profound timing tools to help you understand your reality and begin to move forward with ease and grace. The feedback from Sky Reader year after year has been phenomenal, and every time I teach it, I learn to make it more simple, more well-paced, and more easy for you to grasp. So I'm in 7 years of doing this. I think I'm getting it down finally to a fine art thanks to you guys. I'm going to show you the website just so you see what it looks like. I'm now moving most of my content to laurilothian.com. It used to be somewhere else at Padaya. If you're there already, nothing is taken away from you. At this point, though, I'll show you the new website so you can take a gander at what the sky looks like over there, what my site looks like. And I hope to see some of you in class. I always say this, and I'm not making this up. You might probably think, oh, that's a sales pitch. Oh, I might not teach this next year. That's not true. I always wonder if I'm just going to retire and start to write books. And my agent wants me to write a book. And so I have a lot on my plate to get done in this life. Legacy is to leave a book behind. So for me, when I say I may not teach this next year, Lori may not teach this next year. Okay. All right. So this is the website, laurilothian.com. If you go /sky-reader, you'll be at the introduction to the course and the enrollment page. We're on a discount code right now until the end of July. Well, it's not a code, it's just a discount. There's 40% off the full price. And then in August, depending on when you hear this, there'll be another lower price, not as discounted as July's early enrollment price, but by September, it will go to full price. So make sure that you get in this class with a discount if that's something you're looking for. So you can see this beautiful website was created by my team. I think it's gorgeous. Learn to read your sky. And then there's a preview of what we have going on. So when you get into the course backdrop and you're there, you're going to have like stuff already waiting for you, a little tutorial on how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, free minis of the 12 houses PDF. And I have what I call your Astro Toolkit. I'm always adding more stuff to that toolkit. You don't need a professional software. You can use Astrocom, astro-seek.com, time passages. These are free softwares. This is not requiring you to purchase professional software in order to learn in my course. And you'll see that we have the toolkit here. These are elements that go in, how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. These are already in the back end of the program. Your cheat sheet pack, 12 signs, 12 houses guide. This is just learning tools. This is all going to help you learn. For most classes, I'll be putting together a handbook to help guide you through each class, which is new this year, kind of a prompts, a questions, things to fill out so that you can use it as a kind of self-study tool. Just print it out on a PDF on a computer. I'll aim to keep it black and white, of course, so you don't have to worry about color. And then we see that the Astrology 101 is we set you up really slowly. I call it the slow start, where we're really going to build the basic building blocks together so that when you come off of week one, you are like someone who went to kindergarten to learn the alphabet. You're going to have the basics in your toolkit, in your understanding already. And then we talk about the various parts of the sky, the big four, the 12 houses, dignity matters. Planets have dignity. You want to understand that. Otherwise, there's nothing you're going to understand without that. Dignity matters. We're also using whole sign houses, and this is ancient Hellenistic astrology. The focus will not be on the outer planets because we can't use them as time lords. And so it's not that there's anything wrong with the outer planets, but they're not good for timing your best life. Unless you want to live 248 years, says Pluto, 164 years, says Neptune, or 84 years, says Uranus. They're not the most timely tools, right? Solar returns is one of the things we do, and we learn about the perfection ages. Now, you may think I know all about my solar return and my perfection age. I don't think you do. I embed in some advanced tools there for you that you won't probably find anywhere else after 8 years and thousands of clients, nonstop teaching and seeing real clients in the trenches. I have figured a few things out, and I always like to share what I figured out with you guys so that you can also use those tools the way I do. There's always bonus content here. And so you get from me, not to use until you've taken Sky Reader, the birthday chart advanced course as your solar return, the annual perfections advanced course, and how to find people in your chart. Where's my mom? Where's my kids? Where's my husband? Where's my siblings? How to find the planets that represent those people in your chart. That is also a part of a course that I've taught that I give you as a part of your bonus toolkit. Okay, so I hope you guys will go over. I hope you'll have fun if you come to study with me. I would love to see you there. When I talk about teaching, without a doubt, it is my favorite thing to do. It gives me a joy, actually. I remember years ago, I went to see a psychic reader in Coquitlam, Canada. That's outside of Vancouver. She looked at me as I walked in the room. This is like 15 years ago. And she said, teacher, 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 you are a teacher. At the time, I was a magazine editor and a writer, and I had no idea what she was talking about. And look at her today. She was right 15 years later. That is my passion. That is what I do. Hope you'll join me. I'll see you guys in Sky Reader, and let's have some fun learning together. Everyone have a very good, wherever you are, day, month, or year.
Lunatic astrology.